What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Pokemon FireRed. Last time, we went back to Mount Ember and got the Ruby for Celio. And this time, we're on Island 4, or 4 Island, to look for the Sapphire that he asked us to go find. So, let's go ahead and go into Island 4, or 4 Island. Hey, Phoenix, what are you doing here in the Sevii Islands? You should quit copying me, you know. Anyways, I already got my Pokemon eggs, so I'm done with this island. Heh, I bet you don't even know about Pokemon eggs. You'll never fill your national Pokedex that way. By the way, I saw someone we both know on this island. Why don't you go look around if it makes you curious? Me, I don't have time to waste. Be smelling ya later, or be smelling ya. Alright, well, he was talking about Pokemon eggs, which was something not in the original games. But up here is the Pokemon daycare, and if we talk to this guy, I'm the daycare man. I help take care of the precious Pokemon of trainers. If you'd like me to raise your Pokemon, have a word with my wife. So, what you can do is you can put 2 Pokemon here that are opposite genders and in the same egg class, and they will produce a Pokemon egg after a certain number of steps. And that is the way you could do breeding in this game. You do have to wait till the post game to do it, so there's no breeding during the main story, but they did add it into this remake. And if we go in here, what do you have to say? I collected a ton of stickers. I wish I could show them off. Oh, excellent. You came to the right place. Look, see? These are my stickers. Look how many I got. I bet you want some. I bet you do. I'll give you a sticker if you can tell me something awesome about yourself. What will you brag about? I guess I'm the Pokemon League champion. Oh, wow. You made it into the Hall of Fame? That's pretty good, yup. I'll give you one of these. And he gives us a Hall of Fame sticker. This guy will actually give you a ton of different stickers for different things you can do in the game, but it takes a long time to do some of them, so I will not be showing all of them that you can do. And if we go into this house, that's a lot of Pokédolls. There's not a lot to do in this house, but if we go outside and talk to this little girl, oh, you found me. Please don't tell Lorelei. Did you know that Lorelei has lots and lots of stuffed dolls? Every time she comes back to 4 Island, her collection grows. And if we check the mailbox, we can see that this is the Elite Four Lorelei's house. So yeah, Lorelei just lives on 4 Island. And you may have guessed that is probably the person that Gary is talking about. But let's go into this house and talk to this guy. Ready? Boing. I'm going to body slam match. We're gonna have a body slam match to see who wins out first. If you were to join us, you'd be squished like a bug, though. How about I teach body slam to a Pokemon of yours instead? No. But this is the move tutor for body slam, and this other guy, I'm pretty sure, just insults me. There, boing, you're awfully heavy. Well, that's just uncalled for. But yeah, that is the move tutor for Body Slam if you would want to teach a Pokemon that move. It's actually a really decent normal type move, all things considered. But if we go up here and surf, there is an item ball that we can see right here that contains a Stardust, so that's nice to be able to sell. But here on 4 Island, there are actually 2 new Pokemon that we could find, both through surfing, actually. And the first one is Meryl. Meryl can actually be caught at a bunch of different levels, and if you catch it at level 17 or higher, it will evolve immediately after gaining 1 level, becoming a Zoomeril. And that is actually an incredible buff to its stats and everything, and it actually becomes a pretty decently defensive HP tank after evolving. The main thing about Meryl is its 2 stats actually make it work almost completely differently depending on which stat you give it. If it has Thick Fat as its ability, it'll become more of a toxic stall Pokemon. Being able to take a lot of hits, but not being able to deal a lot of damage, because with Thick Fat, its highest attack stat is its special attack with 60 base power. So it won't be dealing a lot of damage even with stab move. So the moves that I would recommend were a Meryl and a Azumarill with Thick Fat is Rest, Toxic, Protect, and Double Team, because it allows it to take more attacks and to stall longer while Toxic chips away at your opponent. The other ability it has is Huge Power, which makes Azumarill and Meryl powerhouses. It doubles its attack stat, meaning that it goes from 50 base attack to 100 base attack, which is insane and is actually a really good attack stat, meaning that Meryl now becomes just a physical attacker that can take hits. So it can learn more moves and have a more varied moveset than it could with Thick Fat, learning moves like Roll Out, Brick Break, Return, Dig, and Iron Tail to really supplement that attack stat that it gets with the Huge Power ability. But with that being said, the other Pokemon you can find here, you may have saw me catch it already, is Wooper. And Wooper is also a defensive Pokemon, but for a different reason than Meryl. Wooper has one of the best defensive typings in the game, being a ground and water type, meaning that it is only weak to one type in the entire game, being grass type. Wooper also gets access to Water Absorb, which I highly recommend over Damp, because Water Absorb just allows it to not take any damage from water attacks and heal. If you would think it would be hit by a water attack, you can just switch into it. And with both of those things, it also has a really good moveset, getting moves like Ice Beam, Earthquake, and Return and Hyper Beam and moves like that. Being able to really take advantage of being able to take a lot of hits and not really having to worry about damage or what attacks are hitting it, really. But with those gone over, we are just gonna go into this cave, the Icefall Cave. And Wooper and Meryl can actually be found here in the entrance too, but we are actually just going to surf across and put on a repel. Alright, with the repel on, we're just going to head into the interior of the cave. And this cave is very much a ice cracking puzzle. Basically, you could step on these ice layers once and not fall through, but if you step on them again, then they will crack and you will fall all the way through. So you want to be careful on which ones you're stepping on and make sure that you have a path for wherever you go. And sometimes it forces you to fall through, like here, and it'll land you in different places depending on where you fall through. But in these levels, there are actually 2 new Pokemon that you can find. Or no, 3 new Pokemon you can find. And the first one is Swinub. Swinub is an interesting case. In this game, it does not have Mamoswine, which is its final evolution that it gets in Generation 4. So it makes it a lot harder to recommend it. And for that reason, I kind of don't recommend it all too strongly. But it is a decently tanky physical attacker. It, unfortunately, is just too slow to really take advantage of it being a decent attacker, meaning that I wouldn't really go too far out of my way for it. It also has 5 very common weaknesses, being all of the starter types, which is not great types to be weak to, and fighting, and I believe steel is also super effective against it, meaning that even being a tanky Pokemon, it takes a lot of damage from a lot of types and is not the easiest thing to use. But with Swinub gone over, oh, also about Swinub, it doesn't really learn any attacks either. Its best attack is Earthquake, and it doesn't get that through leveling up, so you are almost forced to use TMs on it to be able to even have it have its best attack. But next up is Delibird, and Delibird is actually a FireRed exclusive, but it's not a good one. Its highest stat is its speed at 75, and being an ice type that only really resists itself, and doesn't even resist itself now that I think about it, being a flying type as well, it just isn't a good Pokemon. And on top of that, the only move that Delibird can learn through leveling up is Present, which has a 25% chance of healing your opponent, meaning that the unique move that Delibird gets is just bad and doesn't help Delibird in the slightest. So it's entirely reliant on using TMs and HMs, and even with that, it doesn't really have the stats to back it up. So I would recommend skipping out on it. And to prove just how bad Delibird is the Leaf Green exclusive that they kind of just... The Leaf Green exclusive is Sneasel, and it is probably the biggest difference between exclusives in this game that I have seen yet. Because Sneasel is actually a really good Pokemon, being a fast physical sweeper and having great moves through mostly TMs. Learning moves like Shadow Ball, Brick Break, Dig, Return, Iron Tail, meaning that even though it's pretty frail, it can hit a lot of things for super effective and can have a very wide variety of moves, meaning that it doesn't really have much danger of being hit if it hits things super effectively and knocks them out before ever being hit. But with those two gone over, I am just teaching Turtle Waterfall, because we found Waterfall in here through the bottom floor. We also got the Never Melt Ice, which is a really good item for any Pokemon that has Ice-type moves, or any Ice types that you may want to use. But the reason we need Waterfall is because we need to come over here and talk to the waterfall, and then we can just go up the waterfall. There is no badge requirement for Waterfall. It's kind of like Rock Smash. If you have the HM, you can just use it. But this ladder leads here, and we can just go in this door and keep your filthy hands off the Pokemon in this cave. Do as I say, or you'll have me to answer to. Ah, shut it, lady, and leave us be. Don't let your glasses get all steamed up. Phoenix, what are you doing here? No, we can catch up later. Right now, I need your help. Help me kick these poachers out before they do anything else. They've been catching Pokemon here. They're selling them off. Are you ready? You'll take that one, please. You take that one, please. What? Who says we can't do what we want with the Pokemon we catch? And once again, we are confronted with Team Rocket and a Zubat that is very underleveled. I'm just gonna Face Laser. This Zubat should not live. Yeah. Very underleveled, and we'll just have another Zubat. This is a fight for Terra. Rock Flying type, these things should be able to do almost nothing to Terra. And we are just gonna Rock Slide. And this, yeah, takes it immediately out. I'm realizing now that I have a bunch of Pokemon that are super effective on specifically the Zubat line. Terra is super effective with Rock, Hermes is super effective with Psychic, Raiju is super effective with Thunderbolt, even Tortle has Ice Beam. Makes it really hard for this guy in particular to beat me. We didn't plan on this. So despicably weak. You, tell me, where have you taken the captured Pokemon? I'm smashing your ring once and for all. No way! I'm telling you that if you won't confess, we'll deep freeze you. If that seems extreme, Lorelai. You're going to murder this guy because he doesn't tell you where the Pokemon are? My Lapras is furious for what you've done to its friends. Go, Lapras, Ice Beam! Whoa, okay, I'll talk! The Pokemon are in the Rocket Warehouse on 5 Island. There, I said it. We'll be going now. But I doubt you'll ever make it into the Rocket Hideout. Phoenix, thank you, but this is awful. I was born and raised here on these islands. I had no idea that these horrible criminals were loose here. And that's all Lorelai has to say. You can actually surf here, and there are Pokemon in this room. But the one that is the rarest, and this is actually the only place that you can find Lapras, other than the one that's given to you in the Silphco. It's super rare. I believe it's only like 1% of the time, and I forget if it's on certain days or not. But I believe if you leave and come back, there is a chance that it is just swimming in here and you can walk up to it and talk to it. But with that being said, I think that is everything we have to do on 4 Island. So I am just going to get out of this Icefall Cave. And I'm hoping to not run into any Pokemon trying to get onto the mainland of 4 Island again. Because this should be a straight shot. And if we go back to Lorelai's house, you will see that she's actually here now. There's something weighing heavily on my mind. If anything were to happen on the island where I was born, I wouldn't know about it if I were in the Pokemon League. I wonder if that would make me irresponsible to my home. That is a very interesting line of dialogue. For anyone who's played the second generation or the Johto region through Heart Gold or Silver as well, you know that Lorelai is no longer part of the Elite Four in those games, meaning that she does actually give up the position. But our next stop is actually not 5 Island. I know that the hint that the Rocket Grunt gives us is about 5 Island, but he also says that he doubts that we can get in. So the next place I want to go is actually 6 Island. All right, all aboard Sea Gallop High Speed 6. And now that we are on 6 Island, I think we are going to end it off here. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we are going to explore around 6 Island and see what there is to do here. But until then, happy adventuring.